I'll tell you one that's going under the radar, but the co-main event, Gilbert Burns versus Wonderboy. Now that's always going to go under the radar, right? When you have Conor McGregor in the room sucking all of the life out of it, it's hard for anybody to get any shine. But this is a meaningful fight for the division. And you're also stuck in a paradox for either guy of where do we go from here? We've got Colby coming up against Usman. Something's going on with Chimaev. You can't deny what Leon is out there doing. So what happens with these two? Because Wonderboy made a point a while ago, and he's not without merit in this point, which is I should get a world title fight because I'm the only guy in the top 5 who hasn't got one yet. I mean, look, is that the way it works? No, but that's not a terrible point. Wonderboy's done some heavy lifting, man, and he's got a real fan base around him. Let me tell you why I think this fight's interesting. Gilbert Burns, who is a dominant grappler compared to Wonderboy, compared to about everybody in the division, a dominant grappler, doesn't get to grapple unless he can get the opponent down. I'm not convinced he can get Wonderboy down. At least not at will. When T-Wood couldn't do it, just by example. The fact that Wonderboy's related to Chris Weidman and trains with him, I mean, not for nothing, but I think he's got good takedown defense. That's the only point I'm trying to make. So, what do you do if you can't take a guy down? You're Gilbert Burns. You fight him on the feet. Now, Gilbert's whipped plenty of men on the feet, but there is something true. It's more true, more glaringly obvious in boxing than it is in MMA, but there is something true that when a guy gets knocked down or out, it changes him. And it's not his jaw, regardless of what people tell you, he gets knocked out easier. It's none of those things. Psychologically, he's more hesitant. It slows him down. He doesn't flow. He doesn't let his offense go, and he becomes a punching bag. So it's not that he can't take as good of a shot, it's that he begins taking harder and more shots. Is that going to happen to Gilbert? Well, it's a fair point. It really is. And I believe that Gilbert has the power. Gilbert can take care of himself on his feet with anybody. He has the power, but Wonderboy is dynamic. He's hard to prepare for. There's not a lot of guys who can Wonderboy quite like Wonderboy. No matter what you're willing to pay, no matter who you know in the circles, to find a training partner, a sparring partner, to come in to mimic that is hard to do. And I only bring that to you because I do feel it would put Wonderboy in a very good position. I feel that Gilbert Burns hasn't got any missteps in a meaningful period of time. I understand that he lost to Usman, but I don't know of a misstep that he made, even stepping in and taking the Usman fight. And don't forget about how busy Gilbert Burns was leading into that Usman fight, which is why he got the nod over everybody else in the first place. Can only deny him for so long. Works his way up to main events and starts beating up main event fighters, 3 and 4 of them in a year. You got to give him something for that, which is what he got. So what's he have to do to get back? What does this fight represent? It's a co-main event now. The winner of this can't go lower on the card, all right? Just, I say a word like he can't, but historically speaking, they don't. So you stay at co-main or you move to main. How many do you got before you're at the belt? It's one of those tough spots. And I would encourage whoever wins this fight to be very clear now, before you get to the post-fight speech of who you are going to call out, because your options are going to be very limited. Colby's busy. That's going to leave you jumping on the Chimaev grenade or the Leon grenade. So I think that it would be wise if you picked between those two, who do you feel with your style is easier and more beatable? And don't do anything other than that, by the way. There is no pride in being stupid. There is nothing that should shine your ego about being foolish. You want to fight the easiest guy for the biggest paycheck every time. That should be your career. Whether you get your way or not, that's what you should be strategizing and trying to do. And I can remember times back on The Ultimate Fighter, you'd have the hardest guy and the coin toss and the team that gets to pick, and he'd call out the hardest guy, right? The number 9 seed calls out the number 1 seed. And people go, why did you call him out? Well, I want to beat the best guy. Why would you want to beat the best guy? Who told you that? That's stupid. You don't get a pat on the back for being stupid. You call out the easiest guy. Now, easy is a kind of a hard word, right? I mean, this is a pretty macho business, and there's no fat on the bone. But my point stays the same. It is your job to assess the other team, not look at rankings, not look at seedings, not look at who the first pick was. Look for who is the guy I am most likely to beat. That's the guy you call out. And I would encourage the winner. I really would, because it's going to matter. Gilbert Burns matters right now. Stephen Thompson matters right now. And Stephen Thompson comes in with a very good point, which is I have yet to get my crack. And I'm ranked number 5. I only bring that to you because neither one is going right into Usman. So you're going to be left with Leon, and you're going to be left with Chimaev. I would encourage you to have your answer pocketed, call your shot, make sure it's not the one you don't want.